Welcome back in, everybody. It is a pleasure to have you all on board this week. We are in the middle of July. Football season is just weeks away. Not quite so close we can taste it, but we are really, really excited about it. We're going to start off NFL tonight. We're going to hit some food. We're going to hit some MLB. We're going to hit some TV actors, movie actors. We are loaded. Shane's in the building. Yusef is in the building. Austin is in the building. Believe it or not, even though he's missing kind of the audio in the All-Star game, he's watching it live as we speak. Weather up and down the East Coast is brutal, so I'm glad everybody was able to be on board tonight. So shout out to everybody who may be suffering through some brutal storms. We're glad everybody's here tonight, both with our panel and with our audience. Let's get right to it. NFL stuff first, as always. We're doing the NFC South. We're going to try to predict the records of each team. This, again, isn't official stuff. It's just, hey, this is how we're feeling kind of midway through the summer as training camps start to open. Shane batting leadoff as usual. Take it away, Shane.
Okay, we'll go worst to first on this, and it's not a big gap, I'll say that, for what my predictions are. I put the Panthers to finish last at 3-14. I think they're gonna have another terrible year. I put the Saints at 7-10. I think they've kind of passed over their time. They didn't do a lot to open stuff up for them, so I think that'll be difficult again. I put the Buccaneers at 8-9 this year. I think they have some probability where they could pull something off, but I think it's going to be a down year for them. And then I picked the Falcons to only be 9-8 too. I think they'll win this division, but I think there's a lot of problems with that Falcons team. Getting a quarterback was definitely needed, but you get to draft another quarterback, and I still think you have one of the worst defensive lines in the league. And it's going to make it tough for them to be able to battle a lot of teams that are going to try to chuck the ball around in that division. So,
real quick, show of hands. How many of y'all think this is the worst division in football? Because I do. Anybody else? Austin does. Shane does. Yusef. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's where I was leaning. It's not that they're all terrible. It's just when you look at all the other divisions, I just didn't get a whole lot of strength out of this one. So, Yusef, what's your four, man?
All right. This is tentative, but this was tough because it's so bad. I didn't know what to pick for them. That's how abysmal they are. But I did something kind of weird here. I had the Panthers and the Saints tied for last. Well, I guess you could say that 14 division, 6-11. I think the Panthers are going to be a little bit better than we think because they got some things that are in place for them to do that. They got some good talent out there. They're playing some team that they should theoretically squeeze some wins out against. And I got the Bucks and the Falcons tied at 10-7. This might be historic if it actually happens. Like I'm at 10-7. I really couldn't pick between the two of them. It's kind of a coin flip. I guess by wins in the division, I guess you can pick the Falcons at 10-7 for the lead, but that's tied for first place. But I think it's going to be probably a lot closer than that. It's probably going to be a lot of parity in this particular league. It's not great. I don't think the Bucks are going to repeat doing what they did last year. I think that was a one-shot deal. They're going to have problems, and the Falcons have a number of issues which we're probably going to talk about before this show is over with. But yeah, should be a lot tighter than this, but we got three wins between them.
I'm curious to see if Austin's got a left field pick out of his bag here on this, because I know how he feels about one team.
In first place, the Panthers.
Yes. All right.
Sure.
No.
By the way, for our audience, Austin picked the pitching matchup of the Giants last week, and it cashed in, whereas all the rest of us picked the Twins. He went with the pitching matchup and pulled the Giants matchup out. So congratulations, Austin.
Thank you. Yep, that one. I watch too much baseball. But I do watch a lot of football too, and I live in Carolina, so I follow the Panthers, even though I'm not necessarily a Panthers fan. They're pretty bad. I do think Bryce Young has a little bit more potential than he showed last year. I think they're going to be slightly improved, but I just don't trust them to secure the win, I think, is the problem. I think they'll play better. I think they're going to have a slightly improved numbers, but I don't necessarily see that translating to actually like a big jump in wins. I've got them at 5 wins. Then the Saints, I hate to do this because they always win more games than they should. But just looking at what they've got on paper, I can't give them more than 7 wins on the season. So I've got them right there at 7. Just a tiny step up from them. I kind of agree with Yusuf that the Bucks magic is going to wear off a little bit this year. I've got them at 8 wins. And I'm big on the Falcons this year. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a big year. Bijan Robinson's really good. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I think the Falcons are going to run away with this division. I think they're going to have a 10-win season, 2 better than the next closest.
All right. Well, surprise, surprise. I'm actually even a little bit higher on the Falcons than everybody else is. I've got them at 11-5, which may be right at the top of their ceiling. They're not going to win any more than 11 games, right? So I may have them pushed all the way to the top of their ceiling. Mainly that's because of a coach I like and a quarterback I like in a division that doesn't seem super strong. So I've got them at 11-5, winning the division. The other 3 teams, I'm pretty much right there with y'all on. I've got the Panthers at 5-12 at the bottom. I've got the Saints and Buccaneers both at 8-9, and just not a lot going on in this division. Could any of those top 3 teams squeeze out a playoff appearance? It may be, but just with coach quarterback combo, I kind of feel like this is the Falcons division to lose this year. So that's where I'm at. We've all picked the Falcons here basically to win the division with one tie there with the other team. All right, let's switch gears here. We're going to stay on the Falcons. Topic number 2 tonight. If you're the Falcons general manager, what position or group are you most hoping the coaches can scheme or cover for? And just a heads up, I didn't pick the weakest position tonight. I'll tell you in a minute. It's just a position I really want to see step up this year. So heads up on that. I'm curious to see where y'all go. Shane.
So I went pure weakness on this, and I feel like we've kind of been beating the same drum. When you pick a weakness in the NFL, it's really defensively going to be your pass rush or your defensive backfield. And I think for the Falcons, there's trouble on both ends. For me, I think it's the edge rusher is the biggest worry for them. It's been a weakness for the Falcons for many years. They've tried to draft out of it unsuccessfully. They try to cover that up by playing some excellent defense in the back, but they've lost some guys the last couple of years. They tried to draft again to pull that up, but they're young. Can you pull a defense together and have that go the way you want to? The linebackers have played above their level, but they've been injured. So am I going to get a full staff out of them? Pass rush, in my mind, in the NFL can cover up an awful lot of weaknesses on your defensive side. So I think the pass rush is the number one worry I have if I'm the Falcons.
Yeah, to me, that's one of their 2 big weaknesses. I agree. Let's see if everybody else agrees. Austin.
Yeah, I had the same thing for basically all the same reasons. I was looking through some of the PFF grades for last season, and they're I think bottom 5 in their pass rush grade, and I don't think they've done enough to get better in that department, unfortunately.
Yeah, Yusuf, sorry I skipped you in the
That's
rotation,
okay.
man, but your turn's up.
We're all on the same page. I can't say a whole lot more than that. They're going to lose 13 sacks by losing to Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree. They're going to a 3-4, which I think benefits everybody except Zach Harrison. Ebiketie and Malone should be a lot more effective on the edge. That should help out. Jared could stay at the nose and put pressure in that, I guess, that 1 gap. It's not really a 2 gap anymore. Aside from that, man, they got guys that are not stand-up linebackers, so the 3-4 should help them out a lot. I mean, when your safeties are leading in tackles, that's probably not a great sign. So I agree with the guys, man. Pass rush is a big issue for them, and I think going to a 3-4 should help them out a lot with fixing it.
Yeah, I'm right there with y'all because obviously I'm picking a different group here, but edge and secondary, that's the 2 weak spots that they really do need to hopefully do something with. I went with the skill group, and it's just for this reason because there is so much talent sitting there, and the previous regime just wasn't able to squeeze it out. So now that you've got a quarterback there with Kirk Cousins and a new coach that a lot of people seem to really like, I like him too, I'm hoping they can actually max out this skill position set. And if they can, in this kind of weak division, in which we're already picking them anyway, that alone, just the offensive push, maybe up into the upper third of the league, could vault them into the kind of wins that we're talking about here, and maybe even a first round home playoff game, right? So I'm really, really hoping to see Raheem Morris and this coaching staff get the most out of this skill position group. Not that it's the weakest, but they just haven't been able to squeeze the potential out of that. Next, still NFL GM view. Interesting question tonight. I already know. I knew what I was going to say when I put this question together, but I'm curious to see what y'all say. Which of these four NFC South teams would you most want to take over for as GM right now? And that can be for any reason. It can be because you hate them and you want to fix them, or because they've just done so awful, or because you like the way they've positioned themselves for the next 5 to 10 years. You pick the reason. You pick the team. Shane, you're up.
So I like this GM, but I went for the they've been terrible plot line on this one. I went for the Panthers. I think if you pull that team together, you have an owner that's now working his way to one of the more hated owners in the league. If you can get a victory and pull some of those teams back together, the Panthers had great fans when they were winning. Like that's a team that will be supported. But when you've made mistakes time and time again in coaching and who you're selecting in the draft, and then it comes down to not having victories, it's hard to pull that together. So if I'm a team and I have to start as a GM right off the bat, more than likely you're going to get an opening in a terrible spot. So I would take the Panthers and let my skills try to match up with what they can do.
Yeah, I like that. And quick story time. I apologize if I've told it on this show before. I got to be in Carolina the year after they were in the Super Bowl. They were on Monday night season opener against the Packers. So you had Brett Favre coming to town. I got to go to the Monday night game. The whole stadium, you know how stadiums are, they just shake. They're designed to shake under the crowd. The whole stadium was literally shaking, vibrating. Everybody was so excited. The crowd support was there. We picked up, I think, 2 injuries during that game. We lost. It wasn't even close. It turned out to be a bummer of a season, and that was kind of it for that rendition of the Carolina Panthers. But when they're good, they are well supported. That has been the case for sure. So we'll see about the Carolina Panthers coming up this year. All right, Youssef, what team you got, man?
I still feel like defense wins championships. This team's not going to win a championship, but the defense is pretty solid.
Under you, they will, Youssef.
I wish, but they ranked 8th and 13th in points and yards per game. The defense is pretty much dominant, with the exception of Chase Young. If he improves a little bit, they're going to be a dominant defense. They got some real nice guys in their secondary that are young, a lot of upside. They got money issues, so that's a big problem for me. But I like math, and I like dealing with those kind of math problems. So that's why I took the job. Deal with the math problems, fix the money issues. Well, they got a defense already. We can build around that and try to make a contender out of this. So they got a great defense. I didn't mention the offense because there's not a whole lot to mention. That's why we're going to work on that.
Yeah, and I think you're talking about the Saints, right? Is that
Correct.
Yeah? I was making sure. Yep. Yeah. See, I'm going to pick the Saints here in a second, but for a whole different set of reasons here. So,
Cool.
Austin.
I think it took a different angle at this than you guys, which I don't think anyone's necessarily surprised by. I don't necessarily want to live in Atlanta. It's a really big city, too much, I think. So I'm not going to live there. New Orleans, super hot, super muggy. You're in Louisiana. It's a high crime rate. Charlotte's not too different, honestly. It used to be a nicer city, but crime rate has spiked there recently in Charlotte over the last couple of years. Tampa is super expensive to live in, but Florida, there's no income tax. You're right there on the water, so I love to go fish. I'm originally from Florida, and there's lots of you can play golf year round. So I'm taking the Falcon or the Buccaneers GM job and just living life in Florida, having a good time. Who cares about football?
I used to live there, so I get it.
I told you I was picking the Saints. I wrote down the Falcons here. I'm surprised nobody picked the Falcons, though. Was anybody tempted there? Pretty good roster sitting there, Coach.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, nobody was tempted. All right. So anyway, I picked the Saints. Reason why is not only have they not done a great job with the roster, but the finances have just been atrocious. The way they've handled their finances and just gotten really aggressive and barred from the future and still don't have a good roster just drives me crazy. If you're going to do that, you need to have something to show for it, right? They have nothing to show for it. If I were a Saints general manager, and Austin's heard this before, I know, I would come in, clean house, get rid of everybody. We're going to get rid of just about all the big salaries except for the players I really, really want to keep. We're going to do a better job of drafting, and we're not doing that stupid financial stuff anymore unless I've got a quarterback like Tom Brady and I've got a 2-year window I'm trying to hit. Otherwise, let's get back to some real finances, do it a real sensible way here, and build this thing a little bit better than what the Saints have been trying to do. But I'm surprised nobody picked the Falcons there. I figured at least a couple of y'all would. All right. Time for our contest. Shane, I am so sorry, man. Dipped into the red. But as I said in our doc, everybody gets to spend as many as 500 points tonight, even if you don't have that much. If you have more than that, of course, you can spend more than that. So I'm still in the lead at 1,100. In all honesty, I'm just being lucky, guys. I have done zero research on some of this crap that we've been throwing out there, and I've just been hitting. This week, you get to pick any Major League Baseball team that you want to put stock in. So as soon as the All-Star game is over, starting Thursday, I think, or Friday, probably Thursday, the games will start back. So you get to pick any MLB team from Thursday through Sunday. Shane, who you got?
I went with the Twins. I think it's a team that's emerging. They don't lose an awful lot of players to the All-Star game, so it's not like I'm trying to bring people back. I would have picked the Pirates, but with Skeen starting the game, then he's gonna miss a start. So I went with the Twins.
All right, and how much you want to lay out here, man? I know you got a big hole here, but you could dig
you
your
mean
way
of
out
that
of it.
fake money that I don't have?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we'll just go with $1 billion. But yeah,
All right.
I'll say $100 on that.
Okay. Hey, you're welcome to do more. You can do the whole 500 if you want, man. I mean, it's it's up to you. So
Nah, I'll just go 100. That'd be cheating if I pull myself out of the hole too far.
I don't know, man. Listen. If people can get extended credit when they're in debt on betting, I don't know why we can't extend you credit on fake money here. Okay.
Cashing on my last segment victory. So
yes. For those who don't know, Shane actually won the competition last time. So he turned around this time. All right. Youssef, who you picking MLB?
All right. I'm going with Philly in this one. I saw the starting rosters finally for both teams. I just, I know that the guy that Shane just mentioned, he's not going to be in this in the rotation for this particular series. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Philly. They've been playing better. Out of their last 10, I think they have like 7 out of their last 10. I think it is. They've been playing fantastic compared to the Pirates. I'm just riding the numbers, man. So I'm gonna go with 100 on that one. Going with the Phillies to win that 3-game series.
All right, 100 on the Phillies. All right, Mr. Baseball, who you got?
All right, I took the Diamondbacks. First off, I think they're in a really good spot right now in terms of their where their offense is kind of clicking. Their pitching rotation's also very solid. They're not super injured in that front. They would be on an absolute heater ending the first half of the season, except they blew like 3 saves in the last week to 2 weeks of the season. So, and they've got a pretty good closer. So I don't expect that to keep going. And then you look at their schedule. They've got the Cubs, who are going to probably trade Cody Bellinger soon. They're not very good. And then they, after the Cubs series, they play against the Royals, and the Royals have also been skidding really since the, first month and a half of the season. They've gone way downhill since then. So give me the Diamondbacks.
All right. How much you want to drop on that?
We're gonna go a nice $200 or fake dollars.
All right. I'm going to drop 400 of my fake dollars. I'm going to do it on the Astros. So the Astros haven't had a great season, but I just figure coming off the All-Star break, they have looked a little bit better during the second quarter of the season than they did the first quarter, of course. I figure maybe it's their time coming off the break. We'll see what they got. I think they got the Seattle Mariners for the weekend set. So I'm picking the Astros there. I'll drop 400 on them. Next topic of the evening, food, my favorite topic, as always. This time, I'm curious to see, because I know some people who don't even like gas station and convenience store food, right? Probably a lot of our wives aren't too big on that unless it's really certain places. But I'm curious to see what y'all feel about it. Your favorite food from any convenience store or gas station. Give us the place and the food. Shane.
See, this is the one where I always feel, really subjugated in this group because everyone else is in the South, and I feel like that as a gas station cuisine culture is just at a higher level than I get to deal with. But for me, if you're a Northern New Yorker, the gas station of knowledge is Stewart's, and they're known for their ice cream. So I pick that. People love it. It's hard ice cream, but they do milkshakes. They're also known for their coffee for competing against Dunkin' Donuts, but ice cream is my pull. They always do a good deal. If you wear the your youth jersey in there, you get a scoop for free. So
All right, well, awesome. By the way, how's that? Is that STEW or is that STUAR?
STEWART.
Okay, all right. So I'll write it in a minute. I am curious, Shane, because you're all the way up north. Do they have Bucky, Spinks, QT, any of that
No,
up there?
exactly. This is the
Okay.
thing. So I am so far north that I know of 7-Elevens, but there's not even a 7-Eleven within a couple hours of me.
Or you
So
poor
like
man.
7-Eleven, Wawa's, all the ones going down. So like I said, it's the same thing when we did fast food. Like you guys have options that, New York doesn't even know exist.
I don't know about it.
All right, so that's Shane Stewart's ice cream. I love it. Yourself, me and you're in the same neck of the woods, man. So we got the same choices here. But
I suppose, man. I mean, I'm from New York, so I got some options out of there, and I live in Florida.
okay.
I got some options in Florida too, but I ain't gonna use either one of those. I'm gonna use the South Carolina connection right now. Historically, I won't touch that stuff because it's just something I won't put inside of me. But normally, fried chicken is probably the best thing to get from a gas station. If they have it, they usually don't screw that up too much. But the Parkers out here, they have a fried chicken deal out here, and it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's one of the things when you smell it down the street, it makes you want to stop your car and go pull in to get gas when you don't need any. So it's really good. Parker's fried chicken is pretty good. If you can get a chance to try that out, that's good. My runner-up is like that jerky from Bucky's, but it's my runner-up. But yeah, the fried chicken from Parker's is never undercooked, seasoned well. Can't beat it, man. It's good stuff for a gas station cuisine.
No, we don't have a Parker's in my area. Is that a brand or is that just one local stop? Okay.
What's
All
the
right.
brand? Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, I haven't seen them up here. So, I guess we don't have the same options. Austin.
Listen, I could rant on and on about this. I decided to talk about a couple different places because I can, and you're not going to stop me, I don't think. So the QV is a gas station. It's no longer called that. It's a Marathon now. They have draft beer. So that is #1 best gas station ever. You can just go get a draft beer. #2, there's a small gas station on the way from, northern Florida to a little town in Alabama called Clio, Alabama, that has the best pulled pork sandwich I think I've ever had, or one of. My dad's listening to this. I'm sure he knows the one I'm talking about. No one else will know. He knows the one I'm talking about. Yeah, I would say those are probably my two favorite gas station meals. And then I have to give a shout out to the Tom Thumb that was across the street from like my neighborhood growing up for the ices. I anytime I had spare change in my cup holder, like when I turned 16 and first started driving, I would take, anytime I got $1, I'd take it and go get a Coke and icy, fill it about 75% of the way up, and then 25, top it off with cherry.
Yep.
Make a little cherry Coke slushy. Yeah, it was great. I love gas station food and drink. It's a pleasure of mine.
Yeah, me too. I don't always do it, but yeah, I mean, what's cool, especially on a burning hot summer day, just roll into some convenience store or gas station, just sample what they got, whether it's the icy slushy mix or the chicken or the pulled pork or the whatever. The best ones, and I'm not call this without that out tonight. Best ones is one that got a little diner attached to it. You talk about some good chicken sandwiches or hamburgers or hot dogs.
That
those
pulled
are the
pork
best
one.
ones.
That's how that is. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, I already put Spink's chicken up on the board. I like Spink's chicken, especially the tenders. Right? Not the wings are fine, but the chicken tenders that they put out, they do a good job with it. I really like it. My wife, I'll give her a shout out because she doesn't listen to this show. Love you anyway, honey, even though you don't listen to my show.
Wow.
QT, she loves the QT pizza. So the breakfast pizza that you can get at QT, she really likes that. She enjoys that a lot too. So give them a shout out as well. All right, that's food. We can talk about that all night. Next topic of the night, I really, really struggled with this one. I got about 8 or 9 choices that I had a hard time running down to 5. So I'm curious to see if y'all had the same struggles or if y'all pretty much had it mapped out. Your 5 favorite TV movie actors of all time. And that could be dead or alive. It could be current or retired. It could be movie or TV. It could be actors or actresses. You can take it any direction you felt like taking it. Shane, what you feeling on the 5?
So, I think everyone agrees this was a tough one for me. So I went kind of blast for the past, movies that I watched with my father and actors that I remember. So number 5, I went with Paul Newman. Cool Hand Luke. You watch that movie and Paul Newman just kind of pops at you. And then my dad watched every Western known to man. I felt like so I always watch John Wayne. Just the slow delivery of every line. I always think about those movies every single time when you think about the old cowboy. And then I went Daniel Day-Lewis. I think that he's one of those actors that just kind of whatever he decides he's going to be a role in, he just eats that up and he will embody that. I'm sure sometimes working with him isn't probably that great because he's always going to be that guy, even when you're eating, chicken tenders right next to him, he's still going to be in character. And then I put number 2, Denzel. I really can't think of too many movies he's been in where I'm going to turn it off if it comes on the TV. He's one of those actors where it's always a good role, whether it's something serious, Malcolm X, or Training Day, where he got a chance to be kind of a baddie and deal with some different things on that. My number one, he's been my number one for a long time, but I went with Matt Damon. That's like a personal one. I don't think he's the greatest actor, but if he's in a movie, I'm going to watch it. One of my favorites that I think gets a little bit underplayed for him was The Adjustment Bureau. I really like that movie. It kind of shows how different moments in your life can affect not only you, but everybody in it. So him and that movie, that's why I picked Matt Damon number 1.
I love it. You're speaking my language. I didn't pick that same 5, but all of those actors there, I could watch just about everything they put out. All right, Youssef, you're 5, man.
Yeah, this was a tough one, man. I don't know if I even have favorite actors, but when there's certain movies that come on, I watch it. So I guess I'm levitating towards the actor, I guess. I watch a lot of Marvel and stuff like that, action movies like Mission Impossible and that kind of stuff. So I went with Robert De Niro. I don't know nothing that he's been in where I'm like, oh man, he didn't play that very well. I'm talking about going all back to Taxi Driver. I don't see anything that he didn't play well, all the way back then. Watched a lot of Marvel, like I said. I like Robert Downey Jr. I know he got a bad rap coming out early in his career, but I like the way he acts, man. It's just it works. He does a great job at what he's whatever role he's playing. After that, I got Tom Cruise, which is because I've been immersed in the Mission Impossible stuff and some of the other stuff he did as well recently, whose names escape me. But I like the movie no matter what it was, but he was good in that. Denzel's another guy I had in my list. The last one, I struggled with that one because I was between 2 people, but I went ahead and picked Kevin Costner. My second favorite movie in the world is The Untouchables, all time, and his role in that was like, it was good. I like he did in Yellowstone too, so I'm just he's a really good actor. He got a bad rap too. That draft day he got killed, but it wasn't because of his acting though. It was because of the plot, and his acting was fantastic. So that's my 5. De Niro, Downey Jr., Cruise, Washington, and Costner.
See, I love Costner. He didn't make my 5, but that was a tough leave out. I love Downey Jr., if for no other role than his Iron Man role. I just love the way he did the Iron Man role. I had to leave him out of my top 5, but I love him. Wow. And Shane, you mentioned Newman. I love Newman stuff, especially the old movies where he's like the pool guy, shooting the billiard bowls and stuff. Boy, I just eat that stuff up, but I had to leave him out. So this was a tough. I think I even forgot 2 of the guys y'all mentioned, but I think I had 9 tough ones with 2 more that were just sitting right there. So really hard. Austin.
So I wasn't sure if this was just actors or actresses as well. But I decided, and since y'all did all males, I think it's fun to do all males and leave females maybe up for another episode. So I'll go with my all male version because I did make both. So at number 5 for me is Ryan Reynolds. I love him and most everything he does. He is hilarious. I'm a big comedy fan. Most of my guys you're gonna find that I love do at least some comedy really well. Heath Ledger at my number 4 spot. Big Heath Ledger fan. The Joker I think is his most iconic role, but anything he touches is gold. Willem Dafoe. I am a big Willem Dafoe fan. I don't know what it is about him. He has such a weird vibe that I just really resonate with in every role he does. Number 2 for me was Robin Williams. So 2 deceased actors here. Robin Williams probably one of my like first favorite actors. I miss him dearly, but I go back and watch a lot of Robin Williams movies to this day. I still think the first original Jumanji is one of my favorites. And then number one for me is Will Ferrell. I love anything Will Ferrell does. He is my number one all-time actor. I don't care what how much you think he's not funny to anyone who thinks he's silly and dumb and not funny, but all of his jokes land to me. He can do nothing wrong.
Will Ferrell makes me laugh just looking at him. He doesn't even say anything. I could just look at him.
My comedy as an adult, I think, is just mostly my influence of Will Ferrell. Like, I think that's where my roots are in comedy.
Yeah. So Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, those two guys don't have to say anything. They can just stand there and give a look, and they have been cracking up already. And then when they start talking, I love it. So yeah, I love all of these guys here. So my top five, real quick. And by the way, Austin, I'm not surprised that you like that particular set of people. That's exactly the kind of people I would have thought that you would like knowing you. My number five is Russell Crowe. I really enjoy his kind of heavy work. It tends towards serious. I like the Russell Crowe stuff. So I really enjoyed a lot of his work. Number four, y'all have already mentioned him. Robert De Niro checks in at number four for me. I really just Godfather movies, right? And then you add on the '90s stuff that he did. I liked all his '90s stuff, and then some more of his modern stuff. So really love Robert De Niro's work. John Wayne checks in at number three for me. I love cowboy movies. I love a lot of cowboy movies. I don't quite love all the modern cowboy movies. Some of them are a little bit full of crap. Some of them are well done. It's kind of a 50-50 shot on the modern cowboy movies, but I love them. John Wayne did a great job. I think that was number three. Number two for me, Denzel Washington. Shane said it before. I don't think I've ever seen a Denzel movie that I didn't like. Now, he tends towards serious. He tends toward drama, which I like. But Denzel, just every time he says something, every time he puts together a movie, I like it. It's like he's speaking my language somehow. So I just absolutely love Denzel Washington. He's my number two. And number one is Al Pacino. I just love his work in the Godfather stuff, but then again, some of the more they're not silly movies in the '90s, but some of the more caricature movies that he did during the '90s, some of the '90s roles, I love those, and then some of the work he's done modern as well. I enjoy Al Pacino's work. I'm not sure I would like some of these guys off camera. I think a couple of them are jerks, but on camera, I like their work. So give me some more of it, please. All right.
I almost put Al Pacino in my top five just simply for his role in Jack and Jill in the Dunkachino commercial. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do yourself a favor, look up the Dunkachino commercial. It's great.
I'm surprised you like Al Pacino, actually, Austin. I didn't figure that would be your brand of tea right there.
No, he's not. It's just for this one.
Oh, okay, just for that.
It's fantastic. It's by far one of the worst movies you'll ever watch, but so funny. It's an Adam Sandler movie, so like that's most of his movies, but it's great.
One guy we didn't mention that was really hard for me to leave out, really hard, but he just didn't make it. That's Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks does such a wide variety of stuff. Obviously, by the guys I've picked, you can tell I don't mind them doing the same role pretty much every time. But Tom Hanks has done a wide variety of stuff, and I really enjoy his work too. He was a tough leave out. So, all right, let's get to our final 60 tonight, and then we're going to shut this thing down. Shane.
For my final 60, I went with, since we were talking about gas stations already, and Austin mentioned the icy, there's nothing better on just a hot day. You come home from work and choose your cold beverage of choice, and just to be able to relax and take some time off. You know, that could be soda pop, it could be whatever you're into, but just the fact of getting home, sitting down, relaxing, being back with your family, that's my 60 seconds.
Hey, listen, you're speaking my language there. I don't mind work because I need to be busy, but I love getting to come home, especially when I got my kids living here at the house. There's nothing better. And yeah, crack open a cold drink, sit down for a few minutes and rest, and then get back to it. So, Youssef, your final 60.
All right, I'm taking a page out of Ben's book on this one. There's going to be a documentary on FX on the story of Aaron Hernandez, national champ, All-American, school tight end record. He was unstoppable tight end combo with Gronk. He had a rookie record of 45 catches, I think.
Wow.
Over 2,300 receiving yards. His talent was undeniable. I think the biggest thing about this, and we hear all the things, when you listen to the media, you get what you're fed. You don't get a chance to read into a whole lot, but this is a cautionary tale to me. Everybody sees a depraved murderer. I see a cautionary tale of somebody who tried to change something without changing anything. Try to have their old life integrated into their new life and think nothing was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think about his daughter who got to carry weight that she didn't deserve whatsoever. So it was just a kind of a reminder that our decisions today always affect our tomorrow or somebody else's tomorrow. So that was I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. I might, but it was an interesting piece getting ready to come up on FX.
All right. I love it. Love the docs. Austin.
So my 60 seconds is not going to be a movie review. I just want to talk about the MLB All-Star Weekend because it is undoubtedly the best All-Star event of any major sport. And it's not particularly close. I really, really enjoyed the home run derby this year. It just happened last night. And it was, I think, the most fun I've had watching a home run derby in a long time. I've seen so many people complain that about the new format and how, they want the old, 10 outs and you got to hit as many, without getting the 10 outs. But I disagree. It's so much fun to watch the home run derby. They have the 3 outs at the end in your bonus round, which kind of gives you that little bit of there's no time limit, so you can see maybe it could go on infinitely if obviously it won't, but like you never know how many they could hit in a row, which that's still at the end. But you get the fast pace, hit as many as you can in 3 minutes at the beginning, and it ends with the strikes. It was fantastic. The national anthem was an absolute train wreck, which that was fun. The Celebrity All-Star softball game was great this year. Terrell Owens hit a bomb. And then the Futures game, is before the All-Star game. We get to see the best young talent in the MLB. And then right now I'm watching the actual All-Star game and, get to see the best of the best. Just watch Paul Skeens go through a couple innings. Saw Corbin Burns. Max Fried's currently on the mound. They do it right. And I don't know what the other leagues have to do to kind of get on this level, but I wish all-star weekends or whatever you want to call them, all-star breaks were as enjoyable as the baseball one.
Yeah, love the MLB All-Star stuff. I don't always get to watch it due to family stuff, but I absolutely love it. You're right. By far, it's the best. It's the best of the major sports. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being on tonight. Our entire panel, due to storms, technical difficulties, MLB All-Star Game. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all, everybody in the audience, for watching. If you want to be on the show, give us a shout-out. We're more than happy. You don't have to know everything. Just come on and represent your team, answer a few questions, goof around a little bit. We'd love to have you on. If you want to hit us up in the comments, do so. A lot of times we'll use that as content on the show, so we absolutely love it. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great one. Everybody say goodbye. We'll see y'all later.